Every time you ask AI for an answer, instead of thinking for yourself, something happens inside your skull. And it's not good. For 200 years straight, every generation of humans got smarter than the one before. IQ scores rose 3 points per decade, every decade, without fail. Then, for the first time in recorded history, it stopped and reversed. Gen Z is the first generation in 200 years to score lower than their parents. We are the most educated, most connected, most AI-assisted generation alive. And we may be thinking less deeply than any generation before us. Your brain is not a storage device. It is a muscle. And like any muscle, it only grows stronger when it is challenged. When you outsource thinking to a calculator, a GPS, a search engine, or now an AI, the brain doesn't just rest, it starts to atrophy. We've seen this before. When search engines arrived, scientists discovered something they called the Google effect. We stopped remembering facts and started remembering only where to find them. Search engines replaced our memory. AI goes further. It replaces our reasoning, conclusions, not just where we find answers, but the act of finding them at all.
In 2025, a study of 666 people found a direct relationship. The more frequently someone used AI, the lower their critical thinking scores, every single time. Scientists call it cognitive offloading. And the problem isn't using AI. The problem is what the brain does when you do it too often. It stops showing up. When you struggle to solve a problem yourself, your brain forms new neural connections. Scientists call this neuroplasticity. It is how the brain grows. But when AI answers before your brain engages, those connections never form. The problem was solved before your neurons had a chance to reach for each other. The cognitive ability most damaged by AI dependency is critical thinking. The ability to evaluate evidence, to spot a flaw in an argument, to think beyond what you're told. Memory is next. Not just forgetting things, but losing the ability to form new memories as deeply. Because deep memory formation requires the effort of retrieval.
IQ scores rose for 200 years. Then they started falling. In Norway, the generation with the most information access is losing cognitive ground.
AI-generated content and AI decision-making tools are turning people into passive consumers of answers, rather than active producers of thought.
Young minds are vulnerable. The prefrontal cortex, which governs reasoning, matures until age 25. AI dependency causes the most significant damage.
Before you think this video is anti-AI, it isn't. A hammer doesn't make you weak, but if someone carries you everywhere, you lose the ability to walk. Here is the uncomfortable truth. The companies building these AI tools have no financial incentive for you to think for yourself. A dependent user is a daily user, and a daily user is revenue. There's another twist. People are getting better at some things, narrow, specific skills. The general intelligence that connects all thinking, what scientists call the G factor, is weakening. There are things AI can't give: wisdom, judgment, the ability to sit with a hard problem and grow through it. These come only from the struggle, and you can't outsource the struggle.
What happens to a civilization where the majority of people can no longer think critically? Where entire generations outsource their conclusions to machines?
The good news? The brain is not fixed. Neuroplasticity means that even atrophied cognitive pathways can be rebuilt. The damage is real, but it is not permanent. Scientists have a name for what the brain needs: desirable difficulty. Tasks that are hard enough to force your brain to engage, but achievable enough that you don't give up. The research is clear on what rebuilds cognitive capacity: reading long-form text, solving problems before asking for help, writing by hand, having arguments, being bored. One rule: simple. Before you ask AI, try. For 10 minutes, try to figure it out yourself. Then ask. That 10 minutes of struggle is where your brain grows. AI is most powerful when it amplifies a brain that already works. The same answer can land in two very different minds. When you hand AI a question you've already struggled with, you learn from its answer. When you hand it a question you've never thought about, you learn nothing.
Every generation has had its great cognitive challenge. Memory and literacy before printing. Critical thought before mass media. Then came the internet. Now yours is this: learning to use the most powerful thinking tool ever built, without losing the ability to think. You don't have to choose between AI and your brain. You just have to use them in the right order. Struggle and grow first, then use the tool to get both. The brain that struggles is the brain that grows. Every question you sit with, every problem you fight through before you ask for help, that is where it happens. That is where you grow. Every frustration you don't outsource, that is you, building the mind that no machine can replace. Your brain, your struggle, your growth. Keep it. If you want to keep unfolding the human experience, subscribe for more explorations.